Thanks Dow Strong for sponsoring this video. Number one question I always get asked, what is the best way to cook a steak? Now that is a tricky question. It depends on several different factors. How thick your steak is, how fast you want to cook it, and of course what type of steak you're cooking. Today we are covering a foolproof method that is called reverse searing. It is a great way to ensure success for 80% of steaks. If your steak is 1 inch or larger, it is perfect for it. Any thinner than that, you're better off using a front sear, which we will cover on a different video. The worst part about reverse searing though is that it takes time, but at the same time, super simple and easy to make. And the results are very consistent. And you're gonna avoid getting too much grade band, which for some people are not desirable.
I'll be using this beautiful New York strip. It is 1.5 inches thick, it has great marbling, and it's going to be perfect for the reverse sear. However, I'm not only doing one, I'll also be doing a second one. My goal is to show you two versions, one that you can do it indoors and one outdoors. But the concept is exactly the same. Just like always, the first thing we gotta do is to season the steaks properly. I like to keep it real simple. A good amount of salt, followed by freshly ground black pepper and garlic powder. One of the biggest mistakes most people make whenever you're seasoning a steak is not to season them properly. I make sure to get all the edges, and most importantly, I do not let anything go to waste. The same exact thing was applied to the second steak. Rub that steak around the board and make sure you get those edges. And now that they're fully seasoned, it's ready. In order to achieve success with the reverse sear method, I highly recommend getting a thermometer. This will take all of the guessing away, so you can say that you definitely need one. Another thing that we're gonna need is a tray with a cooling rack. We want the steak to cook evenly, and a cooling rack will provide hot air throughout the whole steak. First thing to do is to make sure to insert the thermometer all the way through. Then I want to place my steak right in the middle and take it to cook it in indirect heat. The easiest way to achieve this is your oven. However, you can use anything that uses indirect heat. Even an air fryer will work just fine. You want to set it to 250 degrees Fahrenheit, and it will take anywhere between 1 hour to 2. It all depends on the thickness of your steak. For the one on the grill is the same exact process. However, instead of using a cooling rack, I just laid it down on a tray so that I can take it outside. If you have a charcoal grill like mine, you don't want to light up the whole thing. We want to keep this nice and low. To be specific, at 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Lighting just the edge of the charcoal is the way to go. Then I placed my steak on the opposite side and cover it up so that it can cook nice and slow. It will also take about an hour or two.
As the steak is now cooking, I decided to go ahead and make an awesome side dish. This one is delicious, easy to make, and it pairs up perfect with steaks.
I went ahead and turned my heat source on low, and for this one you really want to use a non-stick pan. Now I added a good amount of feta cheese right on top. Made a quick little hole in the middle and dropped in a raw egg. Just like if you were cooking pasta, I went ahead and closed up the edges. Then cranked up the heat to medium-low and cover it up. In no time at all, the cheese will start melting, which is exactly what I wanted. Then I scraped up the edges back just like this. Once that was done, you can clearly see that the egg white is still not fully cooked. However, I no longer need any heat source. So I took it off the fire and covered it up so I can use the residual heat to cook the egg whites. I went ahead and seasoned it a little bit more with salt. Then I added some chili oil. I like my egg nice and runny, so for me at this stage it was ready. Next up is to heat up a tortilla, and the best way I know how is to use fire. It takes no time at all, and the char that is produced is just awesome. Once that was ready, I went ahead and dropped my cheesy crispy eggs right on top, followed by a little bit of extra chili oil, chives, and my awesome and simple side dish is now done. It does not get any easier than that, friends. We got crispy edges from the cheese, some spiciness from the chili oil, and the tortilla is just there to make everything better. This is absolutely delicious. Now by this time, my indoor steak is fully cooked. Now I want you to notice how it looks. Not appetizing whatsoever. Just like a sous vide steak, it needs to have a sear. And here's the most important thing so that you don't mess it up. If you're gonna use a pan, make sure that it is smoking hot. I went ahead and added a little bit of oil, let it heat up for about 2 minutes. And if I'm using a pan, I always start with the fat first. This will allow it to get nice golden brown and also add more oil to the pan. Now here's where a key element comes in. I kept moving that steak every 30 seconds. I wanted to make sure that I get enough oil on it. That way it will sear quickly. The goal is to do so no longer than 1 minute per side. If things get a little bit out of hand and it starts to burn, it's totally okay to go ahead and clean your pan. Start fresh if you have to. Just don't let any burned bits interrupt you from getting the perfect steak. Once you're ready to flip on the other side, go ahead and add some butter, thyme, and garlic. This is where the magic starts happening. As soon as the butter is foaming up, just go ahead and baste. Do this as much as you can without overcooking the steak. If you don't want to use a spoon, you don't have to. You can always rotate the steak on the pan itself. This is another great technique. Once you're happy on the way your steak looks, set it down on a cutting board and add the thyme and garlic on top. Don't forget to spoon a little bit of extra butter. Now let it rest before slicing. The one on the grill is a pretty similar process. Get that charcoal fully lit and start to sear it. We want a nice golden brown crust. As you can see, my grill grate allows me to rotate it as needed. This is fantastic because I can use cooler part of the grate anytime I need to. Flipping the steaks every 30 seconds allows me to have a visual cue of what's happening. I just kept doing this little by little until I got a nice golden brown crust that I was happy with. To finish it up, I also like to do the edges. Now this is one of the biggest advantages of the grill. That is the smoke that is produced whenever you're bouncing the edges like this. It not only sears the steak edges, but it also perfumes the steak with flavor. That's all because the fat is hitting the fire and coming back up as smoke. This flavor cannot be reproduced with a pan. And once you are happy with the way the steak looks, the next thing to do is to go ahead and let it rest. As now the only thing left to do is to go ahead and slice it. And I'll tell you one thing, they come out juicy and exactly what you would want in a wonderful steak. As now the only thing left to do is to go ahead and taste.
Before moving forward, I want to thank today's sponsor, Strong. Strong is a reliable knife company that never stops producing high quality, durable, and ridiculously sharp knives. Some of my favorite knives from them is the Gladiator series. I mean, check them out. Look at them. They're beautiful, first of all. They have a simple yet elegant design. It is extremely sharp. They feel incredible in your hands. Plus, they also have the white version, and they look incredible. One impressive thing about this series is the creativity on the shapes of the knives. Just take a look at this Obliterator and check out the Annihilator. If you ever seen a knife shaped like this, let me know in the comments because I haven't. The Gladiator series has certain shapes you should not miss out on, like this 8-inch chef knife or the 12-inch slicer right here. Another awesome thing is that this series is quite affordable. They even have value bundle offers, like this 18-piece colossal block with a total of 18 knives. That's a lot of knives, everybody, one for every single job you need. And they have the 8-piece set in white. Check them out. Everything will be on the link in the description down below for you. So thank you, Strong, for sponsoring this video, but now let's get right back to it. Dig in, Leo.
Oh man, Guga, this
So nice and juicy. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Reverse sear steak, everybody.
Come on, man.
With that kiss of the dragon, everybody, it's another level. I'm telling you right now, a complete different level. But like I said in the video, if you live on an apartment or anything like that, you can definitely do it on the pan. However, just be aware that it's gonna produce a tremendous amount of smoke and it just won't be as good.
There's just nothing you can do that beats a charcoal grilled steak. That intense beefiness plus that char smoky flavor that you get from grilling it like that, it's unbeatable. This is the reason why I don't eat chicken either, Guga.
No, forget chicken. If you enjoy chicken, everybody, I'm so sorry. I apologize.
I'm on to you, Guga. I saw that empty bowl for that side dish you had.
Oh, shoot. Sorry, Leo.
Yeah, no.
We're just making a quick video for the Guga channel. I didn't make it for everybody. It was just for my tummy, and I apologize. I owe you one.
And because of that, I'll see you later, guys.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up. Thank you, Strong, for sponsoring this video. As you guys know, I have been using them for a very long time, everybody. It is a wonderful knife, and you should definitely get some. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe. Remember, everything I use is always in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Let me see if I can catch Leo, but I think the steaks are gone.